third seed from Argentina, who's never been in a Grand Slam quarter-final before, has never even played. Novak Djokovic before, and yet the Argentine led by 2-1 and 4 games to 2 before Djokovic turned things around, winning the fourth 7-5. I'll tell you what's happening in the fifth set in a moment, courtesy of David Law, but the other thing I need to bring you up to speed with is Djokovic's knee. He slipped and hurt his right knee early in the second set, has been complaining that the court screwed up his knee. Too slippery, he said. He's been having regular dialogue with the supervisor. He wants it swept every 4 games instead of at the end of each set. But somehow, David Law, he's now right back in this match, and there's quite a lot to report from the fifth set already.
Absolutely, he went 2 games to love up with a break of serve to Djokovic, and it looked as though Cerundolo was a deer in headlights at that point. He thought he'd got the match won in that fourth set, I think, at 4 games to 2, and then suddenly the great Novak Djokovic, winner of 24 Grand Slam singles titles, started to come back at him, aged 37, using all of this court craft and guiding the ball around and making life difficult. And he took the fourth set, did Djokovic, the 2-love lead, but Cerundolo now has hit back to level up at 2 games all. And goodness knows how long this one is going to end up going.
Annabelle Croft and Naomi Brodie are commentating with us at the moment. You'll be able to hear David describe the closing stages alongside them on Sports Extra and BBC Sound. So, Naomi, let's first of all address these courts, which Djokovic says are slippery, and he has been slipping and sliding a lot. So what's your interpretation of that?
It's tough to say, isn't it? Because we haven't necessarily heard other players, but he was talking about it either. But he's been mentioning it from the start of the match. He mentioned it in his last round against Musetti. He asked, could they be swept more often? The supervisor was on court, told him, no, that's not a possibility. But the knee's been hurting him. He said that his knee's been hurting him because of the slippery clay. He said, how can you say the ground staff know more than I do if a surface is slippery or not? It's again the comments he made as he took a serious tumble there at the end of the match, but it's affecting him in all sorts of ways, not only distracting him but physically as well.
So, Annabelle, the knee is an issue and fatigue is also an issue, isn't it? Clearly nobody really bounces back.
Change tactics, he threw everything that he possibly could draw upon, and it got into the head of his opponent Cerundolo. But he had control of this final set, and suddenly he's annoyed because he's fallen over. He's berated the tournament director down the other end about the slipperiness again. He's kind of got this rather weird sort of clay pattern where he rolled over his racket, and he looks like he's sort of got clay wings on the back of his shirt at the moment. It actually looks like the shape of a butterfly.
Annabelle, Naomi, thank you. Very latest, David.
It is 2 sets all, it is 2 games all, it is 15-30 on Novak Djokovic's serve, and he has to win this match to hold on to his world #1 ranking.
The 3 of them continue on BBC Sounds, and the other highlights from Roland Garros today. 17-year-old Mira Andreeva into a first Grand Slam quarter-final where she'll play the Australian Open champion Aryna Sabalenka. Alex de Minaur of Australia has knocked out Daniil Medvedev, and Joe Salisbury and his American partner Rajiv Ram are into the last 8 of the men's doubles, Steve.
Russell, thank you very much. Elsewhere, England's women face a crucial Euros qualifier in France on Tuesday night. Remember, they lost to them on Friday. Here, Vicky Sparks is in Saint-Etienne ahead of the game.
Bonsoir, Steve. Yes, we are indeed. It's all very calm here. We are a stone's throw away from the stadium, but this is a huge night for England women coming up tomorrow, and I'm sure the atmosphere will be tasty because, as you say, England lost to France, who were the current group leaders, on Friday at St James's Park, and that really does leave them up against it if they lose tomorrow here in Saint-Etienne to qualify automatically for the Euros, where of course they're hoping to defend their trophy, having won it back in 2022. So a reminder, in the groups the top 2 go through automatically and the bottom 2 go into the playoffs. England are currently 3rd. If France win tomorrow night, they will win the group, so then it would be between England and Sweden to finish 2nd and go into that final automatic qualifying position. So I spoke to Sarina Wiegman earlier, the England manager, and asked her if anything other than a win for England tomorrow night makes that automatic qualification for the Euros a real challenge.
Well, That's not what we want, of course. We want to win the game. And of course it's a challenge then, but it's head-to-head. So then still we win 2 games. Then we're still qualifying as a second place. So you want to win, and that's what we go for. But still, if we would lose, then we can still qualify directly. But then in the second place, then of course we have to win the other 2 games. But we know what's about. But now we're really focused on tomorrow. And tomorrow we want to have a good game and we want to win that game.
And I was going to ask about the confidence in the squad, but listening to Beth Mead in the press conference saying that, England want to show that they can beat France comfortably, does that sum up the confidence from these players, that they believe, as they've shown over the last few years, that they are good enough, they are one of the best sides in the world?
Yeah, absolutely. And France has shown too that they're a really good squad. But I do think that we had the better game on Friday. But football is about scoring goals and not conceding goals, or score a goal more than the opponent. That's what it's about. But if you look at the game, and that's our opinion on it, I think we had more possession. We played a proper game, and that gives confidence that I'm absolutely convinced too that we can win a game.
Sarina Wiegman with Vicky Sparks. So Vicky, do you think that she will make changes? And also, is it sort of starting to feel a bit like England have got something to prove again? Is that harsh?
No, I don't think it's harsh. I think it's fair, and in terms of the potential changes that she'd make, I did ask her about that. She hates giving away anything about team selection, Sarina Wiegman, but she did admit that she has some decisions to make. One change that we expect will happen, Mary Ertz, the number 1, is out injured with a hip injury, so Hannah Hampton, I'm sure, will start ahead of her. But in terms of the other changes, I think that there are key questions at the back. We have Millie Bright and Leah Williamson back for the first time since February 2023. They played together against France at St James's Park on Friday, but there were question marks over whether Bright, who's come back from a knee injury, is fully fit. And Alex Greenwood, who deputised for both Williamson and Bright when they've both been out, has played so brilliantly. She's had a great season in the WSL, so that's a question. Even if you just play her at left back and just get her into the defence somehow. And then up front as well, Alessia Russo is the out-and-out number 9, the senior one that Sarina Wiegman can call on. I think she will start again. She's not necessarily been in the best performance form. She's had her best goal-scoring season of the season, but she's not always the most clinical. And there are young players in the squad that I think a lot of Lionesses fans feel should be given a chance, even if it's just from the bench, namely the Chelsea attacker Aggie Beaver-Jones. Will Sarina Wiegman turn to her, or will she keep faith by bringing on players that helped them win the Euros a couple of years ago, as she did on Friday, the likes of Fran Kirby and Chloe Kelly, who are great and brilliant players? But I think amongst some England fans there's a sense that she needs to try something different in terms of those changes, Sarina Wiegman, the likes of Clinton and Park and potentially Beaver-Jones getting a debut. It will be fascinating to see what they do.
Thank you very much, Vicky. That's Vicky Sparks in Saint-Etienne for us. A couple of other football stories for you. Basically, the end of 2 of football's worst-kept secrets. Firstly, Chelsea have confirmed that Enzo Maresca is their new manager. He joins from Leicester, having taken them to the Championship title. And Kylian Mbappe has officially signed for Real Madrid on a 5-year contract. You can now listen to every episode of our special podcast series on the life and times of Kylian Mbappe. It's called Sporting Giants, Kylian Mbappe. One other piece of football news for you as well. The Middlesbrough manager Michael Carrick has signed a new contract through until 2027. It actually does feel like a real northeast football occasion here at St James's Park tonight. I've got to say as well, as I look around us, Scunthorpe United flags, Bradford City flags, Middlesbrough flags as well. The applause you can hear behind me is because they've just brought a big picture up on one of the big screens. The live brilliant programmes all about Rob yesterday, Gordon Smarts in particular. I would highly recommend. It was right off the back of 5 Live Sport at 7 o'clock last night. Rob Burrow, 1982 to 2024, an absolute legend of a man, and St James's Park, as you can hear, has just risen to applaud his remarkable life. Wonderful tribute that. Once they got started, they didn't want to stop, and rightly so. We've got just under 15 minutes to go here at St James's Park until kick-off England versus Bosnia and Herzegovina, the first of the Euro 2024 warm-up matches. Why don't we hear from the England captain tonight, Newcastle's Kieran Trippier, speaking to Ian Dennis about playing at his home ground and playing with his son walking out alongside him as mascot this evening.
It's very special. To be given the trust by Gareth is an amazing feeling. To walk out with my son leading my country out is very special.
And when people talk about left-back as a problem area, you're the solution to that problem area. But then, just look back. You've 37 starts for England. 10 of them have been at left-back. What's the hardest situation for you when you're switching from right-back to left-back? What's the most difficult aspect of that?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, then it's like a mirror, because obviously I can't use my right foot to play it down the line and stuff. But, I think I'm old enough and experienced enough to know how to adapt to the left-back position. We work hard on it in training, obviously with Gareth and the staff, where they want me to be. So for me, I'll always give my best no matter what position it is. Obviously Shaw is not with the team right now, but I'll fill in it if I have to, and the manager selects me there, so no problem at all. And I think everybody knows me by now who have played with me, or like yourself, I'll always give my best.
It's not an alien position for you to play, is it?
No, I'm used to it. I played there, obviously, like you said, quite a few times for England, a couple of times for Newcastle, and I played there for other clubs as well, so it's not something that I'm not used to. Obviously, it's different because I'll have to use my left foot more, but again, it's you see over the years, you see Youngie in 2018 playing left wing back, for example, or there's many fullbacks who play on the opposite side who are successful, so I don't see why we can't be.
Kieran Trippier with Ian Dennis. So we've got Ian, John Murray, Jonathan Woodgate, Leon Osman all with us on 5 Live Sport tonight. Jonathan, the fact that Trippier is starting at left back tonight, the fact that he's captain, does that basically end the conversation on who, if Luke Shaw isn't available, will be starting for England against Serbia?
Yeah, you definitely say so. You definitely say so on that matter. I'm sure Trippier will do a fantastic job for England. Like you say, he's played there before for England. He's played there before for Newcastle. And he can definitely do a job. It's just now, if he's playing at left back... Yeah.
Great time for them to announce his name exactly. In the stadium.
But he's right-footed, then who plays on the left? Because if the left winger's coming inside to play, who gives England the width on that side of the pitch? That's the way you've got to look at it, and I'm sure Gareth will be doing that as well. But it is an interesting position moving forward. Hopefully Luke Shaw's fit, because he's an outstanding player, defensive-wise and attacking-wise. I think it'll be a miss though if Luke Shaw's not fit, but I'm sure Trippier will do a decent enough job.
Do you think as well, Jonathan, that is there a difference when you're coming back to fitness? Because one of the other things that Gareth said to John is that, yes, they would take Luke Shaw if he is still going to be injured, but not if he's going to be injured for too long. So let's say he's fit, but he's not fit until, for argument's sake, the last 16. Is it different for defenders to forwards at all? As a defender, can you get up to sharpness more quickly? Because by that time, it's do or die.
Yeah, I'd say so. Defenders have to destroy. Attackers have to create. And attackers need to be in the game constantly, looking to create things, looking to running behind, different touches in the game, who can they combine with? Whereas defenders can destroy, they can pass easy. Like I've taken it from experience before when I've been injured quite a bit in a Premier League season, that I can come back and get back into the rhythm straight away. But when you look, don't forget he'll be doing a lot of work. Don't forget he'll be doing a lot of work outside of the pitch as well, keeping him fit. You've seen him do it before at United. When he's come back and he's been injured for that amount of time, he's come back and he's got in the rhythm of things straight away. He's been really good at it.
Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire were the two of the England players who arrived before the majority of the squad to link up with the medical team so they could ascertain what situation they were at. When Gareth was talking to John yesterday, Gareth Southgate basically said these next 3 or 4 days are going to be vital for Luke Shaw, because between him and the medical team, they've got to work out at what stage is he going to be able to play. He's not going to play against Iceland on Friday, so therefore, bearing in mind he's not played since February with his thigh injury, he's missed a lot of football. Would he be able to come back last 16, final group game? That's what they've got to weigh up, because then they need to make the decision whether he'll form part of the final 26.
I think about Luke Shaw though, he's unique, as we're saying, the fact he's a left-footed left back, and you probably take him if we can, but he's not like a player that you'd say, well, he's so explosive and he's so outstanding. We can give him 15 minutes at the end of the game. We'll nurse him back, because say we got to the semi-final or the final, we'll put him on for 15 minutes and he might do something and do that magical moment. Defenders are a little bit different in that. You'd probably say he either starts or he doesn't play at all. You're not really bringing him on for 15 minutes in a game. So that'll be part of the thought process of his thinking. Will they be able to even nurse him if, you know, the group stages are going great and there's an opportunity to give him 20 minutes, because they're going to potentially start him down the line, because it's very rare. You've been 3-4 months of having not played a game to suddenly go in and play a game. It's all a big decision that has to be made on his fitness.
There's just been a massive banner unveiled just away to our right-hand side here, and this is exactly where you would normally get the big, emotive, powerful Newcastle United banners, and it's quoting the Lightning Seeds. I know that was then, but it could be again. Seeing that, seeing all the crosses of St George behind it, it really is starting to feel like Euro 2024 is here, which it nearly is. There's a gigantic England crest which has just appeared right into the centre of the pitch. Get the impression the teams are going to be with us very, very shortly indeed. One of the other things that Gareth Southgate talked about with John Murray was the impact that Jude Bellingham playing with the likes of Valverde for Real Madrid could have on him. And what he said was, you need warriors in your team. So Jonathan Woodgate, how many warriors do England have? Do they have enough, do you think?
Well, they definitely have enough. When you look at the team, they've got enough. I think the whole 1 to 11 need to be warriors. You've seen Real Madrid at the weekend, and they've got warriors in the team. The England team needs it. They've got it. They've got an abundance of talent, but they've not just got warriors. They've got warriors who can win games as well. It's not just the warrior instinct. They need players who can win those games as well, and they've got that.
The only problem is they've got plenty of worriers as well at the moment, with all of the injuries and the players who've not had enough minutes. So it's a bit of a yin and yang with England, isn't it? There are so many in the squad who've been in the best form this season, but there are also lots of I'm not sure's.
Also, it's fitting that we're in Newcastle, because worriers and warriors are effectively the same word, John. You can't really tell the difference.
Well, we've got war flags as well, of course, here, haven't we?
Yeah, they're always here, and they always make a big impact. And I suppose, Leon, it follows that we should ask about Cole Palmer here as well. We've talked about, with some of the players who aren't here, big opportunity for Trent Alexander-Arnold. The same is true with no Bellingham, who played 10. Big night for Cole Palmer.
Yeah, but I think he's had such a good season that I think the conversation is now, is he going to force his way into the starting 11 rather than is he made the squad? That's how big he's been. And, you know, he's one that is a warrior. He's a warrior on the ball. He wants to take the ball in difficult circumstances, and I think that's the thing about this England team. Now, I think it's evolved that in a difficult game, in difficult circumstances, I look at the team sheet, and even those not playing, and there are so many people that you'd want to take the ball and will take the ball and you can trust, and that's why we're really good to watch at the moment.
Well, the players are now with us here at St James's Park. There's a huge mosaic right opposite me. One giant cross of St George pointing right back towards us. The England players, Kieran Trippier, their captain with his son, waving to his family in the crowd. And the England players wearing these warm-up tracksuits. It's like they're channeling Euro 96 with the purples and the dark blues. I feel like I'm in a time warp with that and the Lightning Seed lyrics. St James's Park is an absolute picture. Right then, England's first warm-up for Euro 2024. Bosnia Herzegovina, the opposition at St James's Park. Jonathan Woodgate, Leon Osman, Ian Dennis, and first John Murray.
Yes, thank you very much, Steve. Welcome everyone inside St James's Park. The teams are lined up, and there is a huge cross of St George which has been formed in the stand on the far side of the ground, the roof of which is still bathed in sunshine, and the players and the mascots, Kieran Trippier talking away to his son Jacob, ready for the anthems. just be able to hear the cheers. There's a tiny little knot, maybe of 200 Bosnia and Herzegovina fans are way up in the stands applauding. Great noise for the anthem inside St James's Park, and I must say the place is absolutely sparkling in the summer evening sunshine, as it was when I drove through the city today, the Greys Monument. I drove over the Tyne Bridge, and of course your eyes are always drawn to the big stadium on the hill, and we're sitting in it now watching the players going through the handshakes. I did watch there Kieran Trippier with his son Jacob, and the two of them, he had his arms on his shoulders, and he's had a big season, Jacob. If you remember, he got kicked. The mascot had his hand on his heart and was also singing the anthem. I do suspect that was Pickford Jr. We might get the chance to ask him the question. Jordan Pickford always enjoys the trip to St James's Park. So the teams tonight, England, if you haven't heard it yet, it's one of those nights where I'm not sure we'll ever see this England team play together again. And I think for many of these players it's a question of possibly playing for a place in the 26. So Jordan Pickford in goal, Konza, Dunk, Gay and Trippier are the back four. Alexander-Arnold and Gallagher in midfield. Then the line of three, Bowen, Palmer and Eza. So Palmer and Eza both starting for England for the first time, and Ollie Watkins up front. It's an England team that has between them only 179 caps, but I should say Bosnia and Herzegovina are also very much in a transition. It's a new coach, just in charge. This is his first match, and he is here. He wasn't able to travel yesterday because he wasn't very well, but Sergei Barbarez is on the bench here tonight, and their team has only 119 caps among them. 4 debutants, 3 of us have less than 10 caps. The great Edin Dzeko is only a substitute tonight, so they have Vasil in goal. Central defenders, Ahmed Hodzic of Sheffield United, Bicacic and Katic. Then Gazi Begovic and Radeljic are the wing-backs. Tahirovic, Gigovic and Saric in the midfield, with Hajradinovic and Demirovic. And Demirovic, the number 10, is the captain. Right, we're ready to go. England are in their purple kit, although I have to say it looks grey to me. And Bosnia and Herzegovina are all in white with the blue trim, and it is England who are defending the Gallagate end in the first half. Bosnia and Herzegovina get us underway, but England are already in possession, and here's a ball across for the first time to the England representative, to the Newcastle representative in this team, Kieran Trippier, who passes the ball to the former Sunderland man, Jordan Pickford, who gets a few comic boos in the opening seconds. I suspect that it was very much for comic effect from the Newcastle fans. Don't you?
I think he'll get him throughout the game, though, me, John, just for the banter. I'm sure he will.
So we've got Jonathan Woodgate and Leon Osman with us, England internationals both, and it is England in possession. Looking forward to seeing how Eza does tonight. As I say, Eza and Palmer starting for England for the first time, and Kieran Trippier, when he was talking to us yesterday to Ian, he did pick out those two for players who'd look good in training. Long ball over the top, but that's beyond the run of Watkins and bounces all the way through to goalkeeper Vasil. So a big night for those two. Certainly Cole Palmer, the season that he's had, to get a chance now to start for England.
Cole Palmer's been outstanding all season, John. He's had a terrific season. One that I wouldn't say everyone expected him to do what he's done this season. He's an extraordinary talent, but another chance for him tonight to go and show what he can do. I'm sure he'll go to the Euros, by the way. I think he's an absolute cert.
Yeah, it's almost more a case, is it, of whether he'll manage to force a way into the team, never mind the squad. A throw-in for Bosnia-Herzegovina. I'm a senior men's international between these two countries for what is The penultimate match for England before the Euros. Bosnia Herzegovina missed out in the playoffs. That's a poor clearance from Pickford. It's given it away to Hajradinovic into the penalty area, but it comes to nothing, and it's just shattered behind for a goal kick
in white
for England.
on the screen there. So England
Jordan
lining
Pickford,
up with Pickford in goal. They've then got
I
Konza
think that's
and
going to happen,
Trippier
John, the way
with
England play.
fullbacks. Duncan
He is going to
Guehi
give
at
the ball away,
centre-back.
so you've got to take the good with the bad. If he produces a lovely pass through the middle of the pitch, people are standing up and applauding, but if he gives it away, there's a slight boo. They've got to bear with it. He's a really good keeper, especially with his feet.
Yeah, well, as I say, he's the only man in this England team with more than 50 caps. Actually, 61 tonight means that he's equal now with Ray Clemence. So he's equal 5th most capped England goalkeeper. Here is Gallagher playing it back into central defence to Dunk. Now out towards the right-hand side. Konza, who impressed in those matches in March against Brazil and Belgium, started the Belgium game at right back, and that's where he's starting here. The Aston Villa defender. Bosnia-Herzegovina, though, nipped possession back, and here's a ball played across the back line, but Trippier is able to take that down and play it back to goalkeeper Pickford. I say the colour is purple. The official colour is dark raisin stroke sesame, but it still looks grey to me, grey and gold.
Right-hand side.
As the ball is rolled across, here's Trent Alexander-Arnold, and one of his long passes, looking for Eza down the left-hand side. He's managed to get a right foot on that and brought it under control. He's actually manhandled off the ball there, and the referee, who's from Norway, by the way, Rohit Sethi, gives the free kick to England for a little push on Eza. There wasn't too much in it for a free kick.
Well, that's what you get when you play Trent in that centre of the pitch. His range of passes extra. He looks like he puts nothing into it, but he just glides it over the top of the full-back to Eze.
That's a great start for Alexander-Arnold in that position, when he will be under scrutiny tonight, as he already has been from us. So this is 5 Live, BBC Sounds, England 0, Bosnia-Herzegovina 0. First chance for a free kick then, after it was conceded by the Sheffield United man, Ahmed Hodzic. Eza winning it, and it's going to be taken from the left-hand side by Cole Palmer. Left-footed in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but that's headed away. Only gives possession back to England, though. Eza allows it to run out of play. Finished the season so well, Eberici Eza, with Crystal Palace, 5 goals in his last 6 appearances when Crystal Palace went great guns, didn't they, in those final weeks under Oliver Glasner. Ball on the far side for England, with Konza wearing number 3 tonight, even though he's at right back. Kieran Trippier at 2 as the left back. Gallagher just forward of the centre circle. Now back to the back line as well, with Gay, Mark Gay, who I think he's another one who's of the defenders who's missed a lot of this season with Crystal Palace, but I think he's a virtual certainty, isn't he, for the team. Might well be in the starting lineup. As Gallagher, he's fouled near the centre circle, gets back to his feet, but the free kick is given. He wanted to take it quickly, and he's just shoved away Demirovic, who was trying to get in the way of it, and Gallagher just leans over and feels his ankle. He felt that.
Yeah, it was a strong challenge. His touch was really good, actually. Just got him away from slightly, and then he just came in and nailed him around the ankles. You say, just clipped him.
Free kick then, which is going to be taken by Mark Gay, and the referee says they didn't take it in the right place. So it comes back to Mark Gay again. He was out from February until the last weeks of the season, Gay, with a knee injury, so his fitness is also something that England will be looking at. Eza, his Crystal Palace teammate, begins to run from deep, runs into 3 Bosnia players, then Gallagher slides in to try and win it back. Then it's taken away by Saric. Saric bursting forward down the right-hand side. Trippier just clipped his heels, sent Saric sprawling to the ground. It's a free kick. And I just wonder whether, had it not been a friendly, whether that might have been a yellow card, but it's a free kick anyway to Bosnia.
Sarge was quick. He got away from Trippier, he got away from Gallagher. He showed him a clean pair of heels. And you're right, John, I think that would have been definitely a yellow card in that scenario if it was a championship game, as we'd say, a European game for sure.
Well, this is going to be taken, a free kick left-footed by Hajradinovic, who is going to curl it in left-footed, so it's like an in-swinger. Pickford waits. Hajradinovic plays it in low. Actually, there's a flick there on the edge of the penalty area from Demirovic, but it just bounced harmlessly through, and Pickford was able to pick it up. It will count, though, as an attempt on goal. England 0, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0. The first of England's 2 warm-up matches before the finals, and indeed before the final squad is confirmed on Friday night. I guess, well, we'll find out on Friday night at what stage that becomes public knowledge. Here's Eza down the left-hand side. Eza cutting in, playing a ball to Watkins, but Eza's claiming that there might have been maybe a handball in there, but the ball is just deflected out of play for a throw into Bosnia halfway inside their own half. So we do have a choice of listening for you tonight. It's another night of tennis commentary on Sports Extra from Paris, from Roland Garros. And let's get an update now from
Russell Fuller-John. Good evening. And Novak Djokovic from 2-1 and 4-2 down in the fourth, unhappy with his right knee and the slipperiness of the court, has beaten Francisco Cerundolo. He was out on court for 4 hours and 29 minutes on Saturday, 4 hours and 39 minutes tonight, but he's into the last 8 at Roland Garros for the 18th time after winning the decider 6-3.
Okay, and Alex Zverev coming up, I presume, shortly. Well, I think
after a very brief meal break, it will be Alex Zverev against Holger Rune.
Lovely. So that's what you hear next on Sports Extra. Kieran Trippier just took a bit of a challenge there. He's another one whose fitness has been an issue in the final weeks of the season, but he's back on his feet and plays the ball into his own half. Here's Alexander Arnold again. Back to Lewis Dunk, which I think is also an interesting choice for this match. Lewis Dunk, number of possibilities, but it is Dunk and Gay who were chosen together. Alexander Arnold now with a pacey pass to Palmer. Palmer into the area. Watkins might have a chance and shoots. It's blocked. He could have gone down there, Watkins. Ball still in the area. Palmer shoots, but the whistle had already gone actually for a foul, I think, by Palmer. But there's the first big chance for England. Jonathan Woodgate.
Yeah, big chance. Do you know what it all starts from, John? It all starts from the weight of pass from Trent Alexander-Arnold through the lines into Palmer. Watkins making the run down the side, and should really do better with it. Watkins, they'd be disappointed with that, but I'm just watching Alexander-Arnold, and he's just coasting through the game. Honestly, the Bosnia players have got nowhere near him, and he's just taking his time. He's picking little passes off, playing in between the lines, keeping it simple. He's really mixing his game up.
Watkins could have gone down there. I think he was fouled in the area, but he was in such a good position. He took it on, but then shot at the goalkeeper. Let's bring in Leon Osman, who's with us as well for a first word since the start of the game. What's caught your eye, Leon, so far?
Yeah, I mean, England have actually been quite narrow. I mean, Bosnia are obviously trying to make the game quite compact. They're being deep. We expected maybe the width may come from Eze and Bowen, but they're naturally wanting to go inside. Trippier and Konza are trying to provide the width, but then when you've got players like Trent and like Cole Palmer who can thread a pass, who can turn on a sixpence like Cole Palmer just did and play those passes, you've always got an opportunity, and that was brilliant play, the exact kind of thing we've seen from Cole Palmer all season, and they're the moments that can change a game. Wonderful play from the young man.
England 0, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0 here at St James's Park on a beautiful night. Sunshine on Tyneside, throw in down the line by Bicakcic, but England are able to win it back. Here's Eza actually just flicks the ball back to the edge of the penalty area. Producer Gary points out that the actual announcement for the squad, the final 26, is at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, but England have to get the 26 into UEFA on Friday night. So if that news doesn't come out before 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, I'm Ronald Koeman. Here is Gay on the halfway line, back into Gallagher, knocks it back to Dunk on the halfway line. Then Trent Alexander-Arnold turns, the challenge comes in on it. Alexander-Arnold keeps his feet, gives it back to Gay near the halfway line. And then Gay with a short pass to Alexander-Arnold. Hair short, very short. He looks as though he's already had his tournament haircut. Maybe he knows that he's going to be on the plane.
A bit like Mr. Flintoff.
Well, exactly.
Gary Flintoff.
Yes. As England start down the right-hand side, but it's deflected out.